From The National, this is Trending Middle East. I'm Yasmin Al-Taji. It's Friday, May 2nd. Here are today's headlines. The UAE and Lebanon are working towards lifting travel restrictions following a meeting of their heads of state in Abu Dhabi. Those restrictions include a UAE-imposed ban on Emiratis traveling to Lebanon. A joint statement said the countries are keen to facilitate ease of travel to the benefit of both nations. The UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, quote, the two sides agreed to allow citizens to travel after taking the necessary measures to facilitate movement between the two countries and establishing appropriate mechanisms for this, unquote. The statement followed the Lebanese President Joseph Aoun's first official visit to the UAE. His government seeks to boost relations with the Gulf after years of internal political turmoil in Lebanon.
It has been years since a Lebanese president came to the UAE.
The National's editor-in-chief, Mina Al-Oraibi, was among newspaper editors who heard from Aoun at a meeting this week. Here she is now.
Often there were strained relations between whoever was the president because they used to be Hezbollah's candidate. This particular candidate actually came as a truly Lebanese patriotic decision, and he has made an effort to build ties with the Arab world, particularly with the GCC. So after visiting Saudi Arabia and Qatar, here he is visiting Abu Dhabi.
الآن الأوان نقول كلنا سوا ما بيحمينا إلا الدولة.
Joseph Aoun is making great strides in trying to situate Lebanon as not falling under one sphere of influence or another. And he has very specific needs. First of all, support for the Lebanese army. And of course, he used to be head of the Lebanese army. And he wants to make sure that they get the support, both financial, equipment, but political also, to carry out their very difficult role, which is, frankly, to make sure that all use of arms and the monopoly over the use of arms in Lebanon is in the hands of the state rather than with Hezbollah. And also, he is looking to convince investors to invest in Lebanon, but really wants to say that they are going to have the banking reforms and they're going to do the economic reforms, and they've already started in order to get investment confidence to try to deal with the terrible, crippling financial crisis in the country.
Meanwhile, Israel struck southern Lebanon again, killing 2 despite a ceasefire. The attacks came as the president spoke of prospects to disarm Hezbollah. At the same time, he said his administration doesn't, quote, want the language of war in dealing with the group.
President Aoun's visit to the UAE comes at a time when Lebanon wants to make sure that the fragile ceasefire with Israel actually holds. Israel continues to hold 5 military points inside Lebanese territory, and the Lebanese are keen to get them out and to have the Lebanese armed forces control all of the territory of Lebanon. But also Israel has struck Beirut a number of times, saying that they are targeting Hezbollah operatives, which again weakens the government's ability to tell Hezbollah constituents, we can take care of you, we can protect you. And he's been very clear, the president has been very clear about the need for all Lebanese citizens to feel that the state can protect them. And Israel undermines that very point every time they strike the heart of Beirut.
The Trump administration has reportedly been planning possible deportations to Libya. That's according to a report from CNN. It said the U.S. is discussing with Libya the idea of deporting asylum seekers to the country in North Africa, as well as migrants living in the U.S. who hold criminal records. CNN reported that the U.S. is also in talks with Rwanda and other countries about the possibility of taking migrants that Washington wishes to remove. The plan comes as the Trump administration ramps up efforts to dissuade migrants from attempting to enter the country. Trump has launched a mass arrests and deportation drive that he's vowed to make the biggest in U.S. history. CNN said Washington wants to deport migrants with criminal records from the U.S. to Libya through a so-called Safe Third Country agreement. The Trump administration has already signed a deal with El Salvador worth millions of dollars to house migrants in maximum security prisons who, it says, are criminals and gang members.
We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border.
In recent years, Libya has positioned itself as another destination for migrants that Western countries wish to remove. Firefighters in Israel were battling what authorities said might be the largest wildfire in the country's history. It forced the evacuation of 7 communities and burnt nearly 2,500 hectares of land. Dozens were injured in the blazes, which began on Wednesday morning. They were concentrated in the hills surrounding Jerusalem.
The fires that engulfed Israel appeared to have begun on Wednesday morning, and they've been raging since. Around Wednesday afternoon and early evening, they got so bad that people were forced to abandon cars on motorways. A number of communities were evacuated.
Foreign Minister Gideon Saar wrote on X that he'd spoken to the foreign ministers of Argentina, Spain, and the UK, among others, about providing aircraft to help fight the fires. The Palestinian Authority, which governs parts of the occupied West Bank, has offered to help in the firefighting effort. Authorities are yet to determine the cause of the fires, but several arrests have been made on suspicion of attempted arson.
On Wednesday evening, the police announced that they arrested an East Jerusalem resident who was suspected of starting fires, but they haven't given many details since. And then on Thursday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at an event said that 18 people had been arrested on suspicion of starting fires. And no matter what the reason for the fires starting, people are also talking a great deal about how countries like Israel are going to be very vulnerable to more such events like this because of climate change.
That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.